Welcome everyone. Welcome Isaac. We have McKay here, and everyone watching. Uh, Today, just we're going to go over as we are gathering for Rapyd University Office Hours. This is a space to really gather, come for community. Be welcome, be known, but also ask anything fintech, anything about the Rapyd API. We'll also go over occasional demos just to show you different aspects of connecting with the API using GitHub code samples. Also, we often work in Postman. Uh, Today, we'll actually be working in Python and just doing some quick examples just to walk you through. So excited for that. But I'll continue. Just explain a little bit about what is Rapyd. We are a fintech company, but yeah, first here is just an overview, a rapid overview. I'll explain. I'll dive into a use case, and then we'll move into our API example. Of course, this includes the request signature. We can maybe show some of the code samples in GitHub for that. Of course, working in Python, we'll do 3 requests with Rapyd. That's get daily rate. That is to capture a GET request for any currency exchange rates, foreign exchange rates between 2 currencies, uh, and then list customers and retrieve customer. And so we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. Um, and really, we've opened up with this and explaining the past few times we've gathered here for Rapyd U, but really, this is the idea of payments used to be thought of a cost, really an additional avenue where it was, not required, but just a way for people to, uh, customers to maybe try out online. Most payments were done, brick and mortar. There was more cash. Of course, different countries have different payment methods uh, in the Rapyd network all around the world. But now uh, more people have gone digital. More people have their own preferences of different payment methods, and so really it becomes uh, a profit, just a way to partner with other companies and profit. Um, and so again, we used to think of doing transactions online. It would just have to be this fee, it would be a burden. But now, really, it's a way to expand uh, your customer base and grow your business, grow your revenue. Um, that is especially building a fintech tool. And so, this is really, we've laid out the evolution of uh, fintech. And payments used to be, of course, offline, mostly brick and mortar, and then came the internet, and we started to do online payments. Is it okay to put your credit card information on websites? Do we trust it? And then, of course, there was growth in the cloud, and then move towards mobility. There's mobile payments, in many different cases. Mobile payments has surpassed now desktop, but of course there is both. And then the next thing is the rapid revolution. No, really, this Rapyd represents just an all-in-one integration for everything a company needs, everything you need as far as payments and money movement, even getting paid, moving money, paying out to your customers, paying out to back to your customers, paying out to your vendors, really everything that is needed to move money around for a business. And so this is this is really where fintech has evolved to and will continue to evolve towards, with more partnerships being all connected together. Here is really a high level overview of what it looks like uh, to just take a snapshot of Rapyd. We have Rapyd Collect. Of course, this is accepting payments as you integrate with Rapyd. Customers pay you for your business, for your services, and Rapyd Collect covers that with hundreds of payment methods across the world. You know, global payment network, and then Rapyd Disperse. Of course, this is paying out to customers, clients, beneficiaries, your employees, any vendor that would need to get paid from a business or from one individual to the next. And but of course, we have Rapyd Wallet, which is an ecosystem that can be built where if you have two individuals or even businesses paying one another in the network that you have built on top of Rapyd, they could freely send transactions to one another through the Rapyd Wallet system. Of course, we have our payment categories here: cards, bank transfers, cash, e-wallets, airtime, even push to card, and then different features a part of Rapyd we can you can find in the Rapyd documentation. We'll look at that in a little bit, but we have, of course, all of our different services. FX is huge of when you are building a global payments network, a global, really fintech ecosystem, being able to move money from one country to the next. FX is basically essential to um, meeting your customers' needs and that they would use their preferred payment method. Of course, we've been sharing this, but we have an open API coming soon later this year. So I'm excited for that. We can jump into the next slide. So why build with Rapyd? What makes Rapyd different? Well, really, I can just quickly mention these top level headers. Reach. We've been talking about what's global, this global payment network. Okay, what does that mean? So, if you are doing a business or running a business in one country, and you are beginning to expand to the next country, um, there are not only regulations that you need to meet for doing business in that next country and selling in that next country, but there are also preferred payment methods that the customers there they use, whether it's their card, any e-wallet, even cash. Uh, and so any any payment method that you need to integrate can take months and really long to be able to uh, build that out on your site, on your platform, and then begin selling using accepting those payment methods. Well, with one integration, you can use Rapyd for that reach, and then I'll just run quickly through the other ones. Solutions, really, these are the things that you don't see. So we have hosted pages where you don't need any PCI compliance and managing customer information. We have a customer object, of course, that you can use with the API, but here using the hosted pages, that will all be generated. And then the compliance aspect, verification of your customers and security. There's so many other fields that are passed through the API using the hosted checkout page that is built in for you. Of course, all of this again is done through a single API. This is really essential for developers for them to build out. And the sole reason they often seek out a Rapyd because it's all together to integrate into one. And then the capabilities. So if you go back to the last page, we see the ecosystem of collect, disperse wallets, accepting payments, and really being able to manage those funds. Um, and yeah, and so let me move to the next slide. And so fintech. Um, okay, we've been talking about fintech. What is fintech? Well, really, fintech is a part of every company that exists that really needs to accept payments online. Um, excuse me. And so all of these companies have an aspect where they have they move money, accept money, have payment. So we all know Uber, um, ride sharing company. The customers pay online in the app. Well, Uber is expanded to multiple countries, which means yeah, accepting different payment methods. Even if a driver, let's say, has bank accounts in a different country, if they are just working in that current country working for Uber, well, that's accepting payments in one uh, payment method and then paying out to that driver in a different payment method, perhaps in a different country or a bank account issued in a different country. So um, you have all these companies that move money in a specific way, in a different way. We know IKEA, furniture selling online. Rappi, I believe that's delivering um, goods and services. PaySafe, this is a payments company that also specifically highlights entertainment and really the entertainment industry. We have Lano, that is really overseeing uh, your employees and paying out to your employees. And so we have all these different companies that move money differently. You look at each company, how do they accept payments, from whom, and using what payment methods. And so also all of these are customers of our clients of Rapyd that we partner with. And they all follow really this recipe as they have grown, as you can get started as well. So really a service that provides to your customers, and do that on a high frequency, do that well. And as you start to grow and build those customers, um, and you start to collect information for them for whatever service you're providing, then whether it's you hit to a certain number of customers or you immediately start charging, you have to add those financial services to accept their payments, accept the VIP service or quality service that you are providing. And then you start to build out. And as a fintech, you can start to cross sell, upsell. Whoever is um, your customer, you can add those services. Uh, Welcome, Hacknarag, as we are gathering. We're just talking about Rapyd and just the fintech ecosystem. And so welcome. Uh, I'm going to just head to the next slide. Um, and so talk about Hotmart. So Hotmart is uh, actually a company that offers online classes. I know so many coaches, so many um, success coaches, or people who want to teach what they've been skilled to do, and train up others. And so Hotmart is actually a company, or actually a platform that brings on those coaches to teach on their platform. And so this is a quote from their CEO. We have 100 customers in more than 180 countries. Uh, we have people of all kinds accessing our platform from all over the world looking to use this technology. And so 180 countries, which means more than 180 different, possibly different payment methods, because for every country may not mean just one payment method. You can have cards, e-wallet, even cash, um, so even bank transfer, bank redirect. You have different payment methods that customers may want to use to pay these coaches, and then they would receive from Hotmart as well, just getting paid out. So um, yeah, really cool that they've been able to grow. I've seen, um, entrepreneur I know, coach I know, Gary Vaynerchuk, on using Hotmart as well, and so they're in all over the globe, um, yeah, teaching others. And here is just a snapshot. Again, we showed a snapshot of the Rapyd ecosystem. Here's a snapshot of the Rapyd developer ecosystem. We have our community forum. You can head there at community.rapyd.net. We'll post that in the link below. Um, uh, and then we have our GitHub repos, our Postman collection, welcome Mark, our docs and changelog that um, our technical writers work really hard on. You can find our social. We have our tutorials. If you want to see any tutorial for a code sample, we would be happy to work with you or even just put that up online. And then here we have our meetups as well. We do list the different conferences that will be around all across the globe. I know we are developers coming up. Part of our team will be there, and some of our developers. So, um, yeah. And heading to the next slide. Here is really just an oversimplified uh, snapshot of the Rapyd stack. So this is just a snapshot of how you could see, you could get started. There's a lot of backend services on top of this, but of course leverages AWS and then MongoDB and MySQL as a database. The front end is React. We have tons of React developers building out our client portal and the services in the back end using Node.js. Um, so again, yeah, super simple snapshot. And so, yeah, here's just a call to action to grab our Sandbox API keys. We will be grabbing this, and then we encourage you to, yeah, just join the Rapyd developer community. This is something that we gather together and help each other out, and always have challenges or something going on. But really, there's tons of developers who you can connect with our community, as well as some of the Rapyd developers here. And so moving on to our example. So I'm going to grab our API keys. Actually, one thing that I do need to do is open up our our client portal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. But then we will work on our Python request signature. And then that is, so just want to move over to GitHub. And so this is something that we're going to grab here. And as we do that, we will grab from this one right here. So actually, Isaac here has created this. He's on the call. And so you can see basically here's just a README file to get started that will walk you through. We're going to walk through here today, and then it uses this request signature here. So this is already built for you. You don't have to do that. And so we basically are going to run through this and um, just clone this, and it'll be pretty easy to get started. Here, I'm just on my other screen, just logging into Client Portal um, before we get started. And I do want to show the API reference page here. This is where you can find all of the different really um, objects and with the variables or the fields definitions. A couple objects that we will be looking at, and requests is the get daily rate object. This is one, again, this will, if you need to basically grab a currency exchange rate, you could just go ahead and do that using Rapyd, and you could see the payment example and then payout example. They'll be the same rates, just uh, if you are walking through and the API flow, that will be one that will show what you pass through may change. So yeah, the get daily rate, and then we'll be using the customer object. And so um, we'll be retrieving or actually listing out customers and then retrieving customers. Um, and so I'm just going to type in this code for my client portal. Cool. And then I am logged in. And so what I'm going to do is just now grab this client portal. I'll pull this up if you could see that. And then, so what we see here is, the Rapyd client portal. As you log in, obviously I'm working in Sandbox. If you do open up a account, be sure to reach out to sales to get started if you're interested in going live. Otherwise, you can freely work in Sandbox here. And I'm going to turn this although it's both Sandbox, I'm just flipping the switch on, and it'll show all of a lot of the Rapyd platforms here. But I'm going to go to developers right here, and here's where you're going to grab your access key and secret key. So I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to put it somewhere safe. Make sure these are not, follow best practices to be able to, store these. Don't expose these. And so I'm going to minimize that and then head back to, head over to terminal. And so now here in terminal, I am working in a folder called Rapyd U. I've just placed myself in the right folder. And so now as we run through, again, we're going to grab this. We could back up. We're going to grab this here package and this repository. And so as I'm in my file, we can go to git clone and then clone this file.
The
Here.
gang,
Yeah.
the text is a little too small. If you could
Okay.
possibly like zoom in, that'd be great.
All right. I just flipped to the bottom. Okay, got it. Let's make it big. All right. Yeah, hopefully that is a little bit bigger. Thanks, Isaac,
But
for letting us know. Um, and so now I'll just create my environment. And so I'll do, hopefully this will work. Okay, just making sure. Actually, I do need to um, enter into that. Okay, I think then let me do this. Okay, I'll just have to clear it a little bit, and then um, let's see. I just want to install that. Okay, just making sure everything is installed. And then so now, if I open it up, here is actually a list of all the requests that are built in to the repository. Of course, you can create some new requests as you fork it. Actually, let me jump in and see. Let's take a look at get daily rate. So really, it has the description here, get daily rate, and then here's some of the help and arguments here. This will be the body parameters or part of the parameters, where you could see the currency is USD, and then the buy currency, and the sell currency is euros. Um, and then here is the URL, the endpoint. And then we have just really the request and then the JSON print over here. So we could see each one of these has just code written out like that, just in a Python file or getdailyrate.py. And so the neat thing that Isaac here has set up is you can create basically a environment variables for your uh, sandbox credentials that we copied and we are holding now. And so I can just you would type export and then whatever you want to create, but I'll just paste that in. Um, well, actually, I can type that in export, and then whatever you want to create the title of your variables. And so if you're working in Postman, this would be equivalent to copying and pasting it into like the sandbox environment. And then we are just going to do SB test. So this is going to be the title of our environment. And then actually we don't want to have any spaces, and then equals, and then just apostrophe. And this part I will paste in because these are my uh, credentials. And so these are my access key and secret key and comma. And then because we're working in sandbox, we'll do sandbox API and then another apostrophe. And so this is going to make sure there is of course a variable that calls either, if you were to do sandbox or just API, that would call the production, but sandbox API is of course in sandbox. And so we'll go ahead and create this. And so I'm just to test it, I'm going to do echo SB test. And so now we see that this calls our variables, and so that's saved correctly. And so what I'm going to do now is Python 3. I'll just call the API call here, and then we'll do get daily rate .py and then -h. And this will kind of give us the argument and what to include for the API call. And so we see the parameters, it'll say action type, parameters between quotes, action type, payment, and buy currency, USD, and sell. And so we can just grab that and copy it. Of course, we'll want to, if you want a different currency, you can change that up. And then the Rapyd environment. So actually what we're going to do is, again, we'll clear this. Python 3, and then get daily rate .py, and then paste in what we just copied, the action type. Of course, this is buy USD, sell euros, and then I believe space SB test. And so this is our environment variables that we are going to call. Welcome, VK Singh. We're just going over this example here in Python that you can just quickly grab from GitHub, that actually Isaac here created. And yeah, and so now I'm doing a get daily rate request, and so we see it's successful. So really this is our first API call. It works, and we see now again the sell currency is euros, buy currency is USD, the rate 1.5 05 859398. This is today's date. Yeah, and so yeah, we see that was successful. Um, we can do another one, a couple others. Let's see. One thing I know I can do is list customers. Your sandbox should have a few customers already created, but um, um, we can. I know I can list the customers that I have. So an example for that would be list customers dot py dash h. And so now we don't need really anything. It's just the only thing we need. Positional argument under here is the rapid environment. And so what we're going to do is Python 3 list customers.py and then sb test for the sandbox variables. And so here we have, of course, this is some limited information, but here are the customer IDs that you can grab from them. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this and grab that. And then we can do retrieve customer. And so Python 3 retrieve customer. And then you can even do .h for, okay, so the customer token. This is what we just copied, and then the rapid environment under here, positional argument. So I'll clear, or I can just do that here because there's room. Python 3, retrieve customer. And then I believe here is the customer ID. And then SB test. Okay, cool. And so here, again, retrieve information. This is also limited information. You can really, if you needed to include the full JSON response, go to the GitHub repository and I believe change it to the limitations. Um, you know, and even if you needed to ask questions, we have Isaac here for that as well. And so, yeah, that's really what it looks like. We basically just grabbed our API keys, created the environment, saved them in the variables, and then immediately learned the API call and got started. This is, if you can do this and type if you type as slow as me, you can still get it done pretty quickly, but this can be done quicker than downloading Postman, and you can start testing different API calls right away. So I love that Isaac was able to create this for us. Thank you, Isaac. um, yeah, and so really that is the end of our demo. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I'll just open it up for any questions that you may have. Any thoughts? Welcome. Yeah, welcome again, Hacknerag. Welcome, VK Singh. Anything you want to share? What you're working on? Any questions you have? Yeah. One thing for let's see. Let's look at the request customers. I know if you wanted to, Isaac, if you wanted to um, allow more customers, you could increase this default to 10. Is that correct? Um, and then if,
I think you can pass the parameter limit
okay.
or the
Oh,
flag,
got it.
like minus L,
Yeah.
minus L, and then increase the limit, or yeah, in that case.
Okay. Got it.
And in the previous case, if you want to see the full JSON, you can use the flag minus A or dash A,
Oh,
and that
okay.
will show all the JSON.
Oh, wow. Okay. cool. Well,
It was a retrieve customer, I think.
yeah.
So you can, there is an argument dash A
Ah,
or dash dash all, and that will basically just allow the full JSON to be printed.
oh, that's so cool. Hey, if yeah, if we don't have any questions, maybe we can try and do that. Um, or actually, did I see that in the help? And so, okay, yeah, minus A. Um, uh, and then minus A. Oh,
Yeah,
actually, minus
exactly.
A comes before. Um,
Either way, I
okay,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Ah, nice. Love it. Yeah, so here we could see if the customer has a default payment method saved to their, you could use save card details. Um, that would show up here. This is, of course, this is basic um, sandbox customer ID. So none of this is really included. I've included here as I created the customer. There's no email, but you would see that the phone number, address, um, other payment methods if they have a subscription. Of course, we see when they're created at. Um, um, and let's actually go to list customers. And you can do limit list customers. And then L, it's just L here. And then would we put a number here or um,
I think well, you have to put like a dash L without space. I
yeah,
don't know if there's space there, and then yeah, then just like for example 20.
okay, 20.
Sorry, there you need a space there.
Yeah,
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 20, and then the environment, because usually the Rapids API
awesome.
usually by default returns only 10.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
Mm,
cool. Yeah, and
mm.
here we have all of the customers listed as well. Awesome. So uh, that's awesome. I learned something new. Hopefully, you learned something new. Any other questions before we close out and wind down? Again, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks everyone for watching. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to post on community.rapyd.net. Uh, oh, I see some of the comments here. Hackdog says, can we use Rapyd technologies in other hackathons apart from Rapyd hackathons? Yeah, I mean, that would totally be awesome. That would totally be fine. I think it would be up to the other hackathons rules. And so uh, we allowed other for our hackathons, other integrations as long as you use Rapyd. And so Rapyd would be the main bulk a part of the judging criteria. Other, you know, I guess payment integrations would just be bells and whistles on top of it. Um, and so, yeah, um, that would be totally fine. Again, I would look into the other rules. Yeah, and I think you asked, we do have some challenges coming soon that I know um, McKay has been working on as well. And so those will be exciting, kind of like mini challenges um, that will be launched. But awesome. So anything, um, what would be the upcoming challenges looks like? You'll just have to see, Hector. Yeah, you'll just have to wait and see, because things are changing and different. So, um, yeah, and so yeah, I'll go ahead and close out again. Thank you everyone for joining. Um, yeah, we just really walked through the Rapyd API today, grabbed some of our API keys from the Rapyd dashboard, the client portal, easily set our environment variables as we created and cloned the GitHub repository. The Python request signature was really written out for us. So all we did was set the variables and send the request for get daily rate, list customers, and retrieve customers. So thanks everyone for joining. We'll close up. Have a great day.